Hello guys, Messenger Death, we're back once again with the world's greatest trainer tournament. It's now time for part 4 of round 3. Myself and Professor Oak have gone through. Giovanni has been eliminated. Who else will join us going into round 4? Let us see. Okay, our first 2 matchups will be... It is Lieutenant Surge will be the first matchup. Who will he be up against? Let us see. First matchup will be Lieutenant Surge versus Morty. Okay, who will be our next matchup? It is going to be the Dragon Master Lance. Who will he be up against? Okay, and Lance's opponent will be... Will. This should be interesting. Psychic type versus Dragon type. Who will come out on top? Okay, who will be the third matchup? It is going to be Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. He's had like 3 or 4 matches against Silver. Let's see if he'll be up against him once again. Okay, who will Ash's opponent be? If this is Silver again, I'm just going to giggle. It is going to be Janine. Interesting. Can Ash Ketchum trump a victory over Janine as he did at Koga? Or will he fail? Okay, our next matchup is going to be... Whitney. We've seen Whitney have some good matchups and struggling some. Will she be able to claim a victory here? Next up, who will her opponent be? It is going to be Faulkner, a very interesting matchup indeed, as both have quite a few normal types to share. Difference is Faulkner's is actually flying as well. Will that make the difference? Will Whitney be able to achieve a victory over Faulkner? Or will his birds show they are not as normal as they appear? Okay, what will our next matchup be? It is going to be Silver. Who will Silver's opponent be? Let's find out. Here we go. Who's Silver's opponent? It is Sabrina. Very interesting. Let's see whether Silver has what it takes to claim a victory over Sabrina, or will her dominant performance that she's had throughout this whole entire tournament be too much for Silver to handle. That just leaves our last 2 matchups being Misty versus Lorelei. Let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to win today's matchups and the tournament overall. Okay, it's time for part 4 of round 3. Who will claim their 3rd victory point and allow themselves to advance into round 4? And who will receive their 3rd loss, eliminating them from the tournament? This should be interesting. Don't forget to place your bets. With that said, our first matchup is Lieutenant Surge versus Morty. If Lieutenant Surge gets a victory here, Morty is eliminated from the tournament, getting his 3rd loss. And with Lance and Will, both of them are going to be fighting to stay in this tournament and have one last chance to make it into round 4. Okay, the teams are locked in. I made a bit of a blunder. I already did this match, but I forgot to switch over the scene in my OBS, so we didn't actually see it, but Morty got the victory. Will they be able to do it again? This should be an interesting state of affairs. Unfortunately, that last match was really epic. And had many strange twists and turns, but unfortunately that was my blunder. However, Morty leads off with Marowak as Lumos is led off with by Lieutenant Surge.
The commands are made.
That's how the last match started, so I thought it was only fine to replicate it.
Must not have been the right choice.
However, out comes the Exeggutor here. As Lumos goes for the serve, hoping to take out Marowak.
A light hit.
As it gets a critical hit.
It restored HP with
The leftovers recovery is going to happen for the Exeggutor
what
here.
effect will this Pokemon switch have on the battle?
Lumos goes for the Confuse Ray.
Ray.
That could be quite devastating for the Exeggutor. They might not be able to act here. The Exeggutor goes for the Giga Drain, however, and that's going to be unfortunate for Lumos. That does a solid chunk of damage, but it's not enough to take it out. As Lumos is still plenty healthy with around half HP.
Fight from both competitors.
Lumos goes for the Thunder Wave, hoping for the Power Fusion to be enough to keep Exeggutor from being able to act as it gets fully paralyzed. How unfortunate. Another Confuse Ray.
Become confused.
As Exeggutor hits itself in confusion. How unfortunate.
A hot battle is unfolding.
Lumos stays in and goes for the surf. An interesting choice, knowing it's a bad matchup here.
That was weak. Nope.
However, Exeggutor is fully paralyzed once again and unable to do anything. But its leftovers will keep it nice and healthy as it keeps recovering some HP and middling down some of that surf damage. Another surf from Lumos.
That didn't do much.
As out comes another Giga Drain.
Attack. That struck home.
That's going to keep Exeggutor at full health. As if Lumos never did anything other than the lingering paralysis and confusion. As Lumos this time goes for the Thunderbolt.
Not very effective.
However, with the bad matchup, it's not going to be able to do anything as Exeggutor breaks out of confusion and goes for a Giga Drain, taking Lumos down.
There it is. Knockout. What Pokemon will appear next? Oh, it's
Next
Electro.
out comes Electrode.
The heated action continues.
Exeggutor goes for the Sleep Powder as Electrode tries to use Miracle, allowing it to go first. But unfortunately, it's going to be fast asleep.
Fast asleep and can't be moved. That little nap will certainly make the action one-sided.
Exeggutor stays in and goes for the Psychic. No paralysis here. As that's going to do a solid amount of damage to the Electro, but it wakes up. It goes for the Miracle.
Miracle! A crushing blow.
But Exeggutor is able to hold on.
A hot battle is unfolding.
However, Electro sets up the Rain Dance this time,
There is a sudden downpour.
hoping to allow those Thunders to always hit as another Sleep Powder is unleashed by Exeggutor.
Oh, it fell asleep again. Sparks are flying from both competitors.
Exeggutor goes for the Psychic as
Sharp attack.
Electro tries to use Miracle once again,
Not good. Oh,
and it gets a special defense drop.
it
However,
can't
Electro
move.
stays fast asleep. This is simply devastating here, as Exeggutor is being dominant on the battlefield. Another attempt to get off an attack, but Exeggutor gets fully paralyzed, unable to act. Leftovers is going to recover some more HP though, however.
The white-hot battle continues. It still won't wake up.
But Electro stays fast asleep. And then Exeggutor finishes it off with a Giga Drain, allowing it to get some more HP back once again. Will Lieutenant Surge be able to bring the Exeggutor down?
Pokemon remaining on each side. Oh, it's Raichu!
Out comes Raichu. Will Raichu be able to succeed?
They're both hanging tough.
However, Morty brings his Edgertor back.
Switching Pokemon.
Who will they switch into here?
Oh, it's
As they go into Mischievous. Raichu goes for the hidden power.
A light hit.
But it just seems to be a neutral attack. It doesn't do too much damage to the Mischievous.
This newly switched out Pokemon fare?
Raichu goes for Surf.
What will it do?
Instead of Thunderbolt, an interesting choice. Maybe predicting the Marowak to come back in. But Mischievous stays in and goes for the Shadow Ball. It's a critical hit, as Raichu is not going to appreciate that. Lieutenant Surge has been pretty dominant throughout this tournament. Few trainers have been able to push him, but Lieutenant Surge is struggling here. As Raichu gets off yet another Surf. But Mischievous is able to hold on as it goes for another Shadow Ball.
That did little damage.
Does a solid chum, but Raichu is able to hold on. But a special defense drop happens. Will Raichu finish off Mischievous here? It goes for the Thunderbolt. Finally making the right choice of move. And Mischievous goes down.
It's going down. The next
So far, it is a 5 versus 4 matchup.
The Pokemon have been chosen.
As Morty switches into his ace Gengar.
What an
Lieutenant
opportunity.
Surge's ace Raichu is already on its last legs. Will it be able to mount an offensive here?
Everyone looks tired.
Gengar goes for the Psychic. And that's going to bring Raichu down.
Down it goes.
How will they respond now? With Morty widening the gap between them as Lieutenant Surge only has 3 Pokemon left.
Oh, it's Magneton.
Out comes the Magneton. Interesting.
This is a clash of different Pokemon types. This Pokemon is
However,
switching out.
Gengar returns to his Pokeball.
Oh,
And out comes Girafarig. What will Girafarig be able to do here? As Magneton goes for the Rain
There is a
Dance.
sudden downpour. How will this newly
Seeing the Rain Dance on the
Pokemon
field,
fare?
Morty calls back his Girafarig.
Switching Pokemon. That Pokemon must not have been the right choice.
And switches into
Pokemon
Marowak.
from its Pokeball.
Magneton goes for the Thunder, but it won't be able to hit the ground type that is on the
That
field.
No damage at all.
Could this be it for Lieutenant Surge? Is there nothing he can do? Is there no way he can come back from this?
The flow of battle.
Magneton goes for the Reflect here.
It's better protected against physical attack.
As Morty goes for the Sword Dance.
It
Intending
increases
to
its
finish
attack
Lieutenant
power.
Surge off once and for all.
Sparks are flying from both competitors.
Magneton returns to his Pokeball.
Oh, it's
As out
Ampharos.
comes the Ampharos. Here comes an Earthquake from Marowak. Will it be enough? Reflect is in play. Oh, it's too much for Ampharos to withstand as Marowak brings it down.
There's a big difference in the number of Pokemon remaining on each side.
This is simply devastating as Lieutenant Surge is down to his last 2 Pokemon. Will Jolteon be able to do something here? All Marowak needs is 1 attack, and this game is over.
What'll it do?
Hidden Power Grass comes out from the Jolteon. It's a solid amount of damage, but no critical hit can be found as an Earthquake is unleashed onto the Jolteon here. And that's going to take it down.
Single hit brings it down. There's only one Pokemon left.
Lieutenant Surge is down to his last Pokemon, which is the Magneton.
Joining the battle. It's down to the last Pokemon now. The rain finally stopped. This has become a clash between different Pokemon types.
Magneton goes for the rain dance, seeing that it's superfluous and there's no point in continuing on. They give Marowak the free KO here, that's 4 times super effective. Plus 2 attack with a Fit Club and a critical hit on top. Magneton is down.
The last Pokemon goes down. And there goes the battle.
And with that, Morty is able to keep himself in the tournament. That is quite devastating for Lieutenant Surge. As Lieutenant Surge now receives his second loss and is in danger of being eliminated from the tournament in Part 5. And Morty is able to keep himself in the runnings and keep himself from being eliminated in this competition. Morty has indeed fought hard to remain in his place, where Lieutenant Surge decided quite easy. But our next matchup is Lance versus Will. If either of these trainers loses here, they will be eliminated from the tournament. Who will win? The Psychic Master or the Dragon Master? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get this underway. Okay, the teams are locked in. Looks like I'll be playing well in this matchup according to the wheel. Can I get Will a victory here? Or will Lance prove to be too much?
Involving the hopeful champs of tomorrow has just
out comes Giraffe for Will. As out comes Godzilla, the Tyranitar. This is quite devastating as Tyranitar is a dark type, which Will has to be wary of. That's a solid jump there as Godzilla goes for the crunch. It does way more damage than Giraffe is able to muster up back in return. However, Godzilla gets the Quick Claw proc, allowing it to go for a crunch again, and that's going to bring down the Giraffe. How unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. As Lance takes the lead 6 versus 5.
Okay. Oh, with Zatu.
Out comes Zatu. Will's ace.
The crowd's excitement is building from this heated battle.
It goes for the Giga Drain. This is super effective damage, but will it be enough? It doesn't seem to do much damage at all as Godzilla's able to hold on. Godzilla's going to go for the crunch here. And that's going to be a solid amount of damage to the Zatu, as it also gets a special defense drop. Lance already proven to be dominating so far in today's matchup. Another Giga Drain, but it's just not enough. As Tyranitar is able to stay on the field. It's going to go for another crunch, and that's going to bring the Zatu down. Only hadn't got the Quick Claw proc. And being able to take out Giraffe, it's potential that Zatu would have been able to have a KO. The Lance is leading 6 versus 4. Is there any way for Will to turn this around? As Will goes into Starmie here.
The white hot battle continues.
Starmie goes for a Surf. Will it be enough to bring down the Tyranitar? Yes, it will, as Tyranitar is taken down. Finally, one of Lance's Pokemon's fall, making him only have 5 left. But he is still in the lead, 5 versus 4 here. Lance switches into Dragonite. How interesting. What will Dragonite be able to do here? Starmie goes for a Psychic. And it's a critical hit, dealing devastating damage to the Dragonite, but it's able to hold on. as Dragonite goes for the outrage. That's going to be a solid amount of damage to the Starmie there.
The heated action continues.
As Starmie goes for another Psychic. And it's another crit, ladies and gentlemen, as Dragonite goes down. Lance's Ace falling by the wayside to 2 devastating crits in a row from the Starmie, hoping to regain some ground for Will here, making it a 4 versus 4. As out comes Kingdra.
They're both hanging tough.
Starmie goes for the Thunder Wave here.
Use Thunder Wave. It's gripped by paralysis.
But King Drago is able to get off a move. It goes for the Hidden Power Grass. And that is devastating, but Starmie is able to hold on.
The difference between the two combatants. Here comes the Pokemon Switch.
However, out comes the Espeon. Will Espeon be able to mount an offensive here and put in some work? As it goes for another Hidden Power Grass. It sees Espeon is able to eat it with relative ease.
What impact will this Pokemon Switch have on the battle?
Espeon goes for a Psychic.
Serious attack.
And that does a solid chunk to the Kingdra here, as Kingdra retaliates with a Surf.
Hit. That was good. It restored HP with some
Both Pokemon are fairly injured, with unfortunately Espeon being a little bit worse off, but Espeon goes for the Morning Sun, hoping to recoup some of that HP.
It restored its HP.
Manages to get itself back up to relative health. Kingdra goes for another Surf here, but it's not enough to bring the Espeon down.
Sparks are flying from both competitors.
Espeon goes for another Psychic.
There it goes. That inflicted some
And that brings Kingdra really quite low. As Kingdra gets off another Surf, no full power here.
That's it. It's a fierce battle.
As Espeon goes for another Morning Sun to recoup some HP.
It restored its HP.
Will is pretty desperate to not be eliminated from the tournament here, as it pays off and King Drago is now paralyzed. It's going to allow Espeon to stay at relatively good health and continue to go on the offensive.
There's the attack. Great hit.
However, Kingdra holds on, saying not so fast as it goes for another Surf.
Yes, it's a hit.
However, Espeon is able to eat it relatively well. It is able to stay prevalent on the battlefield
Excitement is building from this heated battle.
as it goes for a Psychic Blast. That's going to bring Kingdra down, and the tables are now turned as Will is able to take the lead versus Lance.
What Pokemon will appear next? Oh, it's Gyarados.
Out comes Gyarados next.
They're both hanging tough.
As Espeon sets up the Reflect.
It's better protected against physical attacks.
And Gyarados goes for the return here.
There's the attack.
But Reflect is able to eat it relatively well.
A hot battle is unfolding.
Once again, Espeon recovers some HP.
It restored its HP.
As Gyarados goes for the Waterfall here.
A light battle. The white-hot battle continues.
Espeon goes for a Psychic Blast.
What's this?
And it's a critical hit, folks. Another crit from Will, as that's going to devastate the Gyarados, but it's able to hold on and go for another Waterfall.
Sparks are flying from both competitors.
Espeon is not playing games, however, as it goes for another Morning Sun to keep itself relatively healthy.
It restored its HP.
As Gyarados goes for the Thunderbolt, a paralysis could be huge here.
A
But unfortunately, he does not get it.
It's a fierce battle.
Espeon goes for another psychic.
What'll it do?
But Gyarados is able to hold on. As it goes for another Thunderbolt. Can it get the power this time? Unfortunately not. Reflect does wear off though, however. But I think it's already too late. As Will is surely going to finish off the Gyarados here with another Psychic Blast. How devastated as Will has turned the tables around, and Lance is down to their last two Pokemon. Out comes Charizard. What will Charizard be able to do?
A hot battle is unfolding. This Pokemon
Apparently nothing as Espeon is going to switch out. And out comes a full health Slowbro. This is a bad matchup for the Charizard here, as Outrage seems to do very little damage to the Slowbro. How unfortunate. Another Outrage from the Charizard. But it's just not enough as Slowbro is brought down to half HP. It goes for the Amnesia. We've seen this strategy before.
It raised its special defense. Sparks are flying from both competitors.
As Charizard is still locked into the Outrage here. And that's not going to do any damage thanks to the Amnesia that is now in play. As another Amnesia is set up, increasing its special defense even higher. What will Charizard be able to do to be able to stop it? Charizard is now confused as it goes for yet another Outrage. But it's just not going to be enough. As Slowbro banks his Amnesias and goes for a rest.
It used a Miracle Berry on
It eats a Miracle Berry, allowing it to wake up, and that's going to keep Slowbro at full health. As Charizard is still confused, and it hits itself with confusion that is simply devastating. Now Slowbro goes for a Surf. And that is going to do a solid amount of damage to the Charizard, but it's able to hold on. But the damage has already been done. Charizard goes for yet another Outrage. Some weird reason not changing up their strategy. But it's not going to be enough as once again Slowbro goes for the Surf. With that, Lance is down to his last Pokemon.
There's only one Pokemon left to come out.
As out comes the Aerodactyl.
Pokemon now.
However, there's pretty much nothing this prehistoric bird can do.
Look at that.
Goes for a Swagger. Will it be enough? Will it be able to turn the tables here? Slowbro hits himself in confusion, but it doesn't seem to do too much damage.
The heated action continues.
Aerodactyl goes for an Ancient Power, hoping to get some stat boosts out of it. But unfortunately, the very little damage. Slowbro is able to break free confusion and goes for the Surf here. As that is going to do a solid chunk to the Aerodactyl, it can't withstand one more of those. And unfortunately for Lance, Will has plenty of Pokemon in the back pocket. If somehow this prehistoric bird was able to claim a victory here. Slowbro goes for a Surf. And unfortunately that's going to be the end of Lance, as Lance has now been eliminated from the tournament. As Will is able to proceed to round 4, claiming himself a solid victory here. And unfortunately for Lance, the devastating upset, he is eliminated from the tournament. Apparently I was wrong. Will still needs one more victory, so he'll be participating in Part 5, along with Lieutenant Surgeon Morty, to try and get their 3rd win and not be eliminated from the tournament. But Lance is out, joining Giovanni in the losers section, and is eliminated from the tournament. With that said, next time we will have Ash versus Janine and Whitney versus Faulkner. Let me know in the comments down below who you think will win next episode's matchups. and who you think will win the tournament overall. With that said, if you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.
Yeah, they call me the Blood Boss, the Mad Boss, the Savage with the Gyarados. As I will make you blast off harder than your last loss. Teach you a lesson like you were a bunch of lapdogs. It was fast, huh? You're mad, huh? Want me to slow it down, or would you prefer it fast?